Hey everyone, it's Amber. So today is a day off, which is incredible because it's been a minute since I've had a day off. Yesterday I got off of work fairly early, around 3 p.m. and I did some yard work, and while I was looking around I kind of opened my eyes to the fact that it's blackberry season here in Washington. For you guys, I don't know exactly who else has this problem, but they are like weeds here. They are extremely invasive. They're worse than ivy because they have freaking thorns. Like, and no matter what you do, you can chop them, you can get goats to eat them, you can use big machinery, and no matter what, you really have to get them from the roots to get them to go away. But if there's one rose to a thorn situation, it's that they do produce berries, and their berries are awesome. So today, that was my original plan. I even have some wild Oregon grape plants that I let live in my yard because they're actually really pretty, and those are also full of fruit, and so I'm gonna get picking. And maybe I'll kind of wander to a few nearby parks and see what their yield of berries looks like. And of course, out of all of the days to have a day off, and it's freaking July, this is what we're working with. Just rain, rain, and more rain. Which, who can blame Seattle? I mean, normally in the summer it should be about, I don't know, 60 to 80 and pretty clear. But we're in the Pacific Northwest, and this is what we deal with. If you were curious also why I have some 2x4s in this vehicle, Anthony is currently building a frame for a free hot tub we're getting this week from some customers of ours who just are just fed up with dealing with chemicals and stuff. So I'm actually in his truck filming this to get away from the rain because at this time I cannot find my keys, which is kind of a problem. But hey, let's do some berry picking. Alright, like I said, I'm on the hunt for Oregon grape. This is a massive, massive amount of Oregon grape. So now Oregon grape has these holly-like leaves that grow in odd numbers. They've got this classic red stem and these berries which kind of have this dusty residue to them. And when you squeeze the actual juice, you see this like really intense blood red color to them. Now these berries are not my favorite berries, nor are they for a lot of people, because they're in fact really, really bitter, and some of them are sour, and the seeds themselves are extremely bitter, so, and they're large. So unlike a blueberry, you bite into one of these things and you kind of taste that seedy taste, and then it kind of goes to bitter or sour depending on how ripe they are. But they are great for antioxidants. You can make tinctures from them, you can use them in jam, so on and so on. So I figured that this will be my first year that I kind of experiment, and I've got more than enough available. But wow, I never actually assumed that I would get this much. This is literally after 10 minutes, and this is my large bowl that I thought I would use for blackberries, and I haven't even gone past this. Like, I'm not even sure what I would do with this many berries. I'm assuming that I'm gonna have a lot of research on my hands and a lot of freezing to do because, wow, like, this is the first time I've ever gone Oregon grape hunting, and I almost feel overwhelmed. Like, what the heck? And as you lift up leaves, it just keeps going. And as you like peer around the corner, there's more. There's more. Bam. Bam. Lift it up. Bam, bam, bam. Bam. Like, holy smokes. So I'm gonna keep going after these berries, and once I fill up this white bowl, I think I'm gonna have more than enough that I probably won't know what to do with, and then I'll move on to the blackberries. Alright, I'm gonna keep hunting. Alright, so I know it's a little hard to see because it's a lot of green you're looking at, but I found a huckleberry bush that indeed is ripe. I feel like it's a little early in the season. I don't know if this wet weather has something to do with the reason why these huckleberries are actually kind of wimpy, because usually they can get fairly large, like pea size, and I would say that these are like half the size, but these are like the cream of the crop when it comes to berries, in my opinion. They are so perfectly balanced between sweet and kind of tart, and the unfortunate part is they're just so itty bitty that you have to really have quite a large amount to satisfy what you would want to eat from them. Another thing too that makes them hard is, if you can see, when you look above, you can barely see the berries, and then when you look from underneath, then you see a lot more. They're pretty good at disguising their berries. So hopefully I can find more of these bushes, because that would be kind of cool to try to make something with them. So I figured I'd show you a little bit about what I've gotten. Didn't really plan on coming home with these particular berries as much as I was going for blackberries. So I think my next plan is to wash up these berries and get them in the freezer, and maybe move along to a different park that may have more blackberry bushes. I think that this one is not quite at the same stage as a lot of the other ones I've seen around, so hopefully I'll come back with another bowl of blackberries. Cool. So when I said that blackberries are a nuisance here, this is what I mean. I'm probably looking at close to 20 feet tall bush of just nothing but blackberries, and the city does occasionally come through and basically just mow it all down. And I don't know, maybe I jumped the gun, because there's so many developing blackberries, and from what I saw yesterday, I thought that I would run into way more. Still not having any problem collecting them, but yeah, isn't this nuts? So I made it to a different park, and all of the outskirts of where the city does not mow is nothing but blackberries. I mean, comparatively to these trees, you can see how tall they are. More blackberries, more blackberries. So I've gotten quite the picking so far. This is actually a pretty deep bowl. Probably will leave after I fill this up, but just another update. Okay, so this is what I gathered in about 4 hours. I did go to 3 different parks. Clearly blackberries are plentiful, along with Oregon grape at this time. I really did not come out with a whole lot of huckleberries, so I think instead of eating them or trying to do something with such a small amount, I am simply going to plant them. And so what I did was I just took some cheap plastic cups, and while I was picking berries, I was grabbing the helicopters off of maples that had fallen to the ground. I ran into some golden chain seeds, some snowberries, which also, it popped in my head, those white berries that I asked, what are they? Pretty dang sure those are snowberries. I have 2 made up for huckle that are not in there yet, and really not betting that, oh, and the mountain ash. Really not betting that they'll survive, but I'm fairly new to propagating and sowing over seeds and yada yada, and really I didn't want anything complicated, so if they die, they die, but hey, I basically just did this as a sideline hobby while picking berries, so I really have nothing to lose. So wish me luck, and hopefully we can make some good stuff with all of these berries. Okay, it's 10:32. And since this very morning, Anthony's been doing hot tub stuff and I've been doing berry and cleaning stuff. So here is the full shebang as far as like the whole process. And I'm wiped out. Like, I didn't even want to make an ending to this video because it's getting late need some sleep. Anyways, just want to say thank you for watching as always, and hope that I can keep making videos that people are interested in watching. Have a good night. Bye. Okay, after that ending, here we are making a pathetic dinner because literally we're too pooped to like make anything. So here we have some chili. Here we have some salsa with olives. And here I am being so deranged that I'm like, hey, I wonder what chili and olives and salsa taste like. Whoa. No! I don't know if I'm tired enough to like it, but if you haven't made a lazy dinner, this definitely will do the trick. Alright.